Dare to Be Vulnerable project, focusing on mental health for men, is happening on November 6th. And it's part of the Courageous Conversations with Men session. And it's a real sit down, open, honest conversation with men. And we've got Darren Fleming and Shane Wicks here. They're men in the community, in the businessmen in the Ottawa community, and they're going to be taking part in the event here. And it's a very important event because it opens up conversation about mental health, focusing particularly on men's mental health. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Thank you so much for coming on here. Can you give me a little bit more details? Like, can anybody come in and experience the event?
Absolutely. So we're holding it at 70 Bongard at the Collab space.
Okay.
Tickets are free. You can get it on Eventbrite. Just look up Dare to Be Vulnerable and you'll see Movember,
Yes.
November 6th. And
Yeah.
it starts at 5:30, 6 p.m. till 8 p.m.
Okay. Movember, for the longest while, was about men's health.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're talking about, I believe it was prostate cancer and take care of your health. Didn't talk too much about the mental health part, which is so important. But now here we are going to talk about that. So Shane, can you talk about how you're going to be participating, what you're going to be doing there?
So I'm one of the champions, basically. So I'm one of the keynote speakers there, and just talking about my experience, what I've gone through with business, relationships, and how I have built a community with men's mental health in mind. And I've partnered up with Susan, and I really support her. I've been volunteering with her for a few months now to help support her and just get the information out.
And Susan is the creator of
Susan Blaine.
Yeah, Courageous Conversations, and now Creative Conversations with Men, which I love.
Absolutely.
And it'll feature maybe even teachers or women or what have
Correct.
you. And this time around, November 6th, it's men. And let's talk about how you're going to be participating and how easy is it for you to talk about your mental health?
Yeah, so I'm one of the other champions. I've only got to know Susan in the context of this movement recently.
Yeah.
I went to one of the events, as someone who got a ticket and went.
See?
And I was amazed to see how impactful it was.
Yeah.
I think as men, we're taught to be these tough, rigid exteriors, warriors even, and if we don't talk about it, then so many people, when they're struggling, often feel alone. And it's so, I don't care what issue you're having. If you talk about it in a small group, it's amazing how half the other circle have some kind of thing. And then all of a sudden the conversation starts. So I'm there to start a conversation.
You probably notice when you do talk, whether it's in a small circle of people or a large group of people, do you get a lot of nods going,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get that.
Absolutely.
I experienced that.
And I think that vulnerability is a learned skill. Right? It's super scary the first couple of times, but like any muscle that you haven't exercised for a while, maybe you can't lift that much weight, and maybe it's a little painful afterwards, but it gets easier.
Yeah, so true. November 6th, this is going to be a really enlightening event for men just to open up about their mental health. It's that conversation that gets things started. I got to thank you, Darren Fleming and Shane Wicks, for coming by, and all the best on November 6th. I know it's just going to open things up and really help a lot of men there with that conversation about men's mental health. Thank you both so much.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.